All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Harshing's podcast. Today we have two special guests. Guests, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ilse, and what else do I say?
You're my cousin.
I'm your cousin.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're like primos hermanos, I would say. Yeah.
Like literally.
Like literally,
yeah.
like primos hermanos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey, my name is Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Yeah.
Nice of you guys to come in. You know,
Thank
honestly,
you for
like,
having us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know when we made the podcast and we started like doing our thing, like okay, we're gonna start inviting people. So I know you guys were one of the first few ones that we wanted to come on. You know, because we've been together since high school. High school sweethearts is the term, right? And
Yeah.
we've been together for a long time. But then, and people ask us sometimes like, hey, you guys have been there together for so long. Like, how do you guys do it? I mean, it's a struggle, right? But here and there. But I think you guys been together a lot longer than we have. I think it's been.
We've been together since 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been quite a long time.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been easy, but we're still here standing. So I think it's so far so good.
Yeah.
We've had plenty of bumpy roads throughout this whole relationship, but I think we've done a good job, I would say, of overcoming them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things where like nowadays, society can play like a good role and then a bad role, where it's easy for people just to be like, just let's move on to the next one. And sometimes people like I've talked to her before and I told her before, like, sometimes things are hard and you want to run away and, want to like, get a fresh air, but that's sometimes not the right thing. You need to work it out and you need to like, try to fix the problem instead of like ignoring it and then it lingers around.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons for me for wanting to work this out with him was because in our family, there's been this constant, like our parents not being together. We weren't brought in like a happy family. For Guillermo and I, wasn't easy. And we wanted to break the cycle. Like, I know that for my siblings and I, wasn't really, we weren't brought up in a family with mom and dad in the picture. Like it was mainly my mom, and then my dad would just like leave, and it was here and there. So I didn't want that for my kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you have to say, Guillermo?
Yep, same thing. Growing up with no dad,
Yeah.
just mom.
Yeah, and I know it's hard because you mentioned it, like a lot of our uncles and aunties, like they don't continue the relationship.
Yes.
So it's like you see that, and I'm like, well, what could have they done different? I'm sure they could have been a lot of things that could have been done different.
Oh yes.
And same thing with me. Like I grew up with both my parents, but then like the ending was kind of like rough.
Yes.
So it's like I took a lot of good things from it, and then the bad things and that's just me. I'm optimistic. I took the bad things and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that. I want to try to make it better. And that's something that I've worked with, myself, and her too.
I mean, me too. I grew up with just my mom. Like, I didn't know my dad until I was like 5 years old. And then when I did, it was like very brief moment. And then I didn't see him again until I was 11. It's just like, it was just so inconsistent. And just not having him around, I didn't know what it was like to like, it's just, this is new to me. Like what we have, what we're, showing our children, it's all new to me.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to agree with you, like taking the things that you learned from your parents, but not in a negative way, but turn them into something positive, something that you wouldn't want to do with something to look up to, like let's say that my mom and my dad weren't, together, and they made a couple of mistakes here and there, and I took that into a positive way. Like I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do, I just wanted to be better for my kids and my husband. Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Yes.
So I know Guillermo for a long time when you guys started dating.
Yeah.
And like
I now remember.
And before, like, me and Ilse and my mom or like my mom, my dad, and my sister, we used to spend a lot of time. I never knew how you guys started like talking or dating, So how did it begin?
Do you want to say it?
It was in a concert
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
So it's really funny because I almost did not go to this concert. I was like crazy running around like this, like like Latino stores, looking for that one ticket for the reggaeton concert. It was sold out, and I finally found one. And we went to the concert with my friends, and then I saw this one guy just standing there with like the dancing crowd all around him, and I stood up right next to him, and I just saw him there staring at I think it was a singer, and he was just there. Like everybody was like out, like they were having fun dancing, but he was just right there, just watching and observing. I think that's what caught my attention, because everybody was just like so happy, so dancing, and he was just there enjoying the moment, just like staring.
So mellow, right?
Yeah, so mellow. Like ever since I first met him, he's always been like that. He's always been very laid back, very mellow. So yeah, and then from there it went on. I think that after that we were
you
inseparable.
made the first move? Like, did you start talking to him?
I think I did, yeah. He said that I went, and then I went like this. Like, I kind of touched him with my elbow. Like, I kind of, but...
You're like, hey, I'm right here.
Yeah, he says that. But till this day, I think that... I don't know. I think I was just kind of tipsy. But, yeah, that's how... And ever since then, we've been together.
So how did you guys connect? Because obviously you guys had to go your separate ways, right? Like, did you get her number? Or did you get her number? Did she get your number? Who stalked who? I don't know.
It's funny because I gave him my number. I think he asked for my number. I gave it to him. And then the next day I didn't remember him.
You were tipsy. Yeah.
I was. And I'm like, is Ilse there? And I'm like, okay, who are you? It's like, it's me, Guillermo, from yesterday, from last night. And I'm like, oh, hi. But yeah, it was just, it was nice. It's been nice being with him for all this time.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
So going forward, like, okay, kind of reaching back to that, like, same point, like when you decided to text her, like, what were you thinking? Like, like, you kind of mentioned it, like you kind of saw him and he kind of stood out because he was just like living the moment,
Yes.
So you had to like find what was something, or I mean, if there was something, like what did you like about her, or like like, okay, let me message her, or let me keep texting her, or calling. I don't know.
Called her
because back then do we have text back then?
We didn't really have text back then.
Okay, so
I think he called me.
Okay, so what made you call back and meet?
I just felt like she was attractive.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call the pretty girl.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then
so after that, okay, there's a time frame where okay, you guys start calling each other, and when does it start become like a hanging out? Oh, let's go do this as a as a friends type thing.
yeah, I think it was right away.
Yeah.
We met, and then in the next few days we met and started hanging out, and then from there, I think he asked me out like 1 week after we met. So it was just something like we just instantly clicked. We knew we wanted to be together. So it was
Yeah, that's
just
beautiful.
Yeah. So what made you want to ask her?
Just wanted to spend more time with her.
Okay.
yeah.
That's what's up. And I know with when around that time frame, we were living in Oakland, and
Yes.
you were living in San Leandro, right?
San Lorenzo.
San Lorenzo.
Yeah,
San
he's
Lorenzo.
on San Lorenzo.
So I know we used to like commute all the time, and then one day from another, like, oh, she has a boyfriend. Like, oh, okay, cool. And then you start coming around the house in Oakland and Foothill. So that's when I met you. So it was kind of weird because I've never seen you with a boyfriend, and someone that was like pretty chill and like real laid back.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I like this dude. He's cool.
Yeah. I think everyone liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going forward after that, like you guys are in a relationship. There's one incident I do want to talk about.
Yeah.
Is when he met the family. Do you remember that?
I was
I
gonna bring that up. I was like,
You
you,
guys-
have to talk about
Yeah.
that. He's told me this story.
I remember it was a crazy night. You finally met like all my uncles and there's some aunties. It was in Richmond, like on 19th Street. Do you remember that?
Oh my God! I just remember that.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
it was like, oh, he's gonna go meet the family, like, you know, he's gonna meet all the uncles, and it was like the first time he drove from Oakland. I think he drove us all there, and
Yeah.
he met the family, and they were all drunk.
Yes. Oh my God.
You remember that?
I just remember that right now. Like, ni me había acordado.
Mm-hmm.
But now I remember that. Like, they got into a huge argument, a huge fight.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh.
Like there was fist fights, right?
There was fist fights.
Yeah, they
Do
were.
you remember,
I
now?
Yeah.
I'm so glad he didn't remember.
I just every time like I think about like him meeting the family, like
Yeah.
us, like okay, it was cool, it's chill.
Yes.
But when he met the rest of the family,
Yeah.
it was like
the rest of
man,
the family is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that's the first time he's meeting them. Like, what is he gonna think? Va a correr. And like,
Yeah.
no. But,
No. Luckily, he didn't.
but I remember, like we were kids. Like I was a kid. I was like, what, 16, 15,
Yeah, we're just
16.
kids.
And I was like looking at her like all fucking scared. And I look at him and he's just kind of standing there like, you know, trying to see where he can help. But it was just, everybody was doing their own thing, you know, like, oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds wild.
It was wild.
I would
It
have
was
loved
wild.
to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have had fun.
I remember
Un circo.
recording.
Yeah.
I know somebody got hit with a bottle. I think I don't know. They
I don't
try to
know.
swing it.
I think it was my
Oh my
Theo and my other Theo, and they were going at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's crazy night.
Yeah. It was
And-
definitely crazy.
Yeah, I'm just surprised I was like, oh shit, you know,
Yeah.
trippy ass family. So, kind of going back, going forward, when did you guys? Okay, so you guys had Yossi, right?
Yeah.
So how did that happen? You know,
Gosh. I think we had her 1 year after. Like, we were together for a year, and then we decided to have Jocelyn. She's now 14. But I was, I think, 17. And he was what? Like 20?
20.
We were very young. Now that I look back, we think that we're old enough to do things. But now that I'm this age, that I'm old, I look back and I say, oh, wow, like we were kids. We were kids raising kids.
I agree. I mean, even when we had Aiden at 20. And I always, I thought, it's fine. People have kids at this young age,
Right.
And now I think about it and I'm like, wow, like, what were we even thinking? I mean, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah.
We have our kids, but I was
Yes.
like, we
Yeah.
had no idea what we got ourselves into.
And the thing is that for us, it wasn't an accident. We actually wanted to have Jocelyn. Right? Yeah. We talked about it. We thought we were all grown and everything, trying to plan a family so early. We were just going out for like 1 year. And then when we decided to have her, and then from there, we struggled because we were so young. But I think that it turned out well.
yeah.
I think
you
so.
guys are doing great.
Yeah. And then we had our other one, Jeremy. So we had him like 3 years after. So every kid is like 3 years, every 3 years. But no more for us. Yeah. And then our youngest is Jaylene. She's about the same age as Adi, right?
Adi's 7.
7.
She's 7.
Yeah, she's 7 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's
Jeremy's
same.
10, 11.
He's
Aiden's
11.
10.
Jeremy's 11. Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost
Aiden's
the same
10,
age.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
almost there.
Yeah, I remember when you brought him over to meet Aiden. He was
Right.
like 9 months old, like in the car seat.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're about they're close in age.
Yeah. So, kind of going back to what you're saying, like, you guys had your struggles, with the firstborn.
Yes.
I think firstborn, I don't know. I just got to say, firstborn usually has to be the hardest one, unless you're lucky and have like a very calm baby. What was one of your struggles?
We didn't.
No,
We didn't. Ours
Aiden
cried a
was-
lot.
Aiden cried so much.
Jocelyn, it was really hard because, as a new mom, you don't know what to expect. Like everyone tells you, oh, this is going to happen, but you really don't know until you have your baby. And I know that with Jocelyn, I was in the hospital for like a few weeks. I was around 33 weeks. I was already having contractions. So I had her at 34 weeks and she was so tiny. She was like this 5-pound baby, very, very tiny. And so she had to stay in the NICU. So just like imagine like being new parents and having a premature baby, having to stay in the NICU for a while. It was just very, very hard. And I was just so emotional because, like how every mom would just wants to have their baby, take their baby home. Well, it wasn't the case for us. We had to stay there for a while.
How long was she in there for?
It was about 2 weeks and a half. Like, so it wasn't as, it wasn't like a long time, but for me, it felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
Because I wanted my baby home.
You had to go home and leave her there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with the parenting part, did you guys struggle with that? Did you guys, have any issues or face a certain obstacle that you guys had to overcome?
Want to talk? No? Okay, I'll talk. Well, with Jocelyn, it was a struggle. It was like a learning curve for us as well. There was times that we didn't have for the diapers or the formula, and it was just hard.
Yeah,
It was financially, it was just really, really hard, especially because he was the only one working. And I mean, I was just there taking care of my daughter, and he would go out and work. Mm-hmm. So there was a few struggles here and there, I would say.
Yeah, 'cause I remember around the time you were working at 2 jobs, no?
2 jobs.
2
yes.
jobs. And so I was like, I do remember that. But it's weird. The question was because, like, from my perspective, I only saw you guys, how you guys were happy. So I always saw an image, right?
Yeah.
You guys and Josie, but you never really know the backstory, like what,
Right.
what you guys struggle with.
Uh-huh.
And I guess everybody starts off like that, especially young couples, like they don't have much, but it's,
I mean, we've talked about our struggles and like how we struggled financially and just, it's hard, just you don't have it together.
Yeah, we didn't have anything. I remember him, like the first time that we talked about, after we found out that I was expecting, we talked about moving in together, and then we were on board. Both of us were on board, but then he had his doubts, I guess. And then he changed his mind. And he didn't want to come live with me anymore. Because, he was very young, and then I guess he has his doubts about like everything that was happening. Everything was just so quick. So, but I mean, we're here. I feel that, I don't know, we were just meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, we have a couple people that came into the podcast, and then they tell us like little different things, and sometimes it's like, I look at it like, well, you guys had to go through that because you guys were kind of meant to be, or, you guys were meant to be, even though this obstacle was there, you guys were over here, So it's weird sometimes with like different couples that you struggle with different things. But at the end of the day, I just feel like, you're just supposed to meant to be. So all those obstacles is just more like, a hiccup,
Yes.
And I think, we went through that. But I think one of the things that has helped us, is just having communication. So in your perspective, like what has been one of the, if not the number one of the number one things that has helped you guys stay in a healthy relationship or build a healthy relationship?
No, me? Okay. Well, I guess what has really helped us, when you want to, when you want to work things out. I know communication plays a big role, but you have to want to be there. You have to want to share your life with someone, and love, of course. For us, we went through a really rough patch in our relationship. And it's like, we don't ever talk about this because we're, but Guillermo and I usually, like, we actually separated for like more than 6 months. I was dating other people and he was dating other people. And you know how they say that it's really hard to come back after you've been with other people, to come back and love again and want to work things out again. It's really, really hard, but it's possible when you want to.
Yeah. So, that's kind of one of the things that I kind of was getting to, like, you guys went through that, right? You guys were, separated, came back, worked on it, and it's just like it's meant to be. Sometimes, not saying that the certain event was supposed to happen, but sometimes things like that happen and they just make you stronger.
Yes.
I know we've had our things, and it's kind of to a point where like it brought the worst out of me, but it also made me think like, I saw her sometimes when we would have fights, and I was like, okay, she would like cry or get frustrated at me.
Yeah.
I had to see a certain thing with her, like, okay, well, I don't like how she was, as she was. So how do I do it differently so she doesn't, and we had a little small fight recently where like, okay, like the way that I've approached it before, it has never worked for me.
Yeah, I literally complimented him on that like afterwards, because I was like, I really like the fact that I was like, in a way, I was like putting myself in his shoes in the moment when I was like arguing, because like I was the one that was arguing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I really like the fact that you understood what I was saying in the moment. You kind of just, you told me, you kind of rephrased it like, oh, so you're asking for this, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. But I was still mad. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, you understood.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of like I'm still learning, not perfect, and then sometimes like I'll be an asshole and make things worse. But, it's just like always trying to like, learn how to be better and make the situation better, and like little things like that. It happens, and you just kind of have to go around it.
Yeah. It's every day is like a learning experience, I feel, with your couple.
Yeah.
There's always things to work on.
Yeah. So kind of going back to what you were saying is like, was this before Yossi or?
This was after Jeremy.
Jeremy,
okay.
yeah.
Like when Jeremy was like maybe 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was back in 2012, right? We separated back in 2012. And
I think I remember.
Yeah.
I remember going over for something over to your house where you guys were living out in Richmond, in San Pablo. And I don't know the details. I don't know what happened. I don't know anything after that. But I know that when I saw you guys got back together, like honestly, I was really happy for you guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It was hard.
Yes, it was.
It was very, very hard. It was like one of the worst moments in my life. I would have to say that.
Who made the decision to
counseling?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, we went to couples therapy, and then we also got really close to God. I feel like God had a lot to do with us being like, we're together now, but I feel like that God had he was part of it. Because there was a moment in my life that I would say like, Lord, help me get my family back. Like, I think we both wanted it, but we were just both really, really hurt.
Yeah. I can imagine. It's like mixed emotions, and it's like, how do you go back?
Yeah.
Or how do you make it work? It's rough. Yeah.
It like sometimes it felt like it was impossible. Yeah, like being together, like I thought that we weren't gonna get through it. So I'm just over here getting emotional because it's like it was so hard.
Yeah,
you're just remembering how it felt.
Yeah, like it's like everything's coming, like everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Since we've been doing this, is like she's cried like a few times, and I've cried a few times.
Yeah.
And it kind of like makes you. There's that one saying like opening the wound type thing.
Yes.
But it's like I look at it, and as soon as I started like talking about it and like going back to those scenarios, like it's like, okay, it hurts a little bit, it stings a little bit in the beginning, but then I kind of look at it like, damn, like we did this, we overcame this, and now we're like, I'm like happy, I'm like, I'm enjoying my life, and it's because we had to like, kind of like, we got cut and we had to heal from it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think that it made us like a stronger couple, and it made us appreciate one another even more. Like I cannot imagine my life without him, because I know how it feels. I know how it feels now to not be with him, and I don't ever want to feel that again, And then I don't know about you, because I'm very open. I'm very talkative. I'm always down to talk about. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm always open to talk about things, but he's the one that kind of like is more, more. How do you say to himself?
He's more
So,
introverted. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to talk about that experience, Guillermo. What do you think?
How was it for you? Like,
It was tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was one of the things that you struggled with the most? Because I mean, obviously, you guys split up, and it was kind of like you doing your own thing, and then you're doing your own thing. Like, what was one of the, like, when did you say, okay, we need to like try this? Like, what were you feeling? Like, what was like your
The struggle that I had was to trust her again. That's the main thing.
Yeah, trust issues and also communication, I feel. Lots of communication issues. And I feel like in our relationship, we started off so young. I know I was only like 16 when I met him. So it was just very hard for me to not be able to do the things that I used to do. Like I got into a relationship so quick and I got pregnant so quick that I kind of missed out on all of the other things that a kid my age had to, do. And I feel the same way like him. He had to like miss out on a lot. He missed out on a lot of things, but at the very end of the day, that is what we wanted,
So, kind of going to the root cause, like, what was the root cause that you guys like? Okay, let's just split it off.
I think that it was just the main person that called it off was me. I was unsure of everything. I did not know how to deal with the doubt that I had, and so I think that he was very hurt because of that. Because it was
You weren't
just
sure of the relationship.
I wasn't sure of the relationship. I felt like the love wasn't there anymore. In the moment, I felt like that, and I told him. But I think that it was just part of growing up so quick. Yeah.
You were still trying to figure out your life. And,
Yes. I was only like 23 years old, 24 years old when I had Jeremy, right? Yeah.
So when did you guys decide? Okay, we have to like try it, or let's get back. Who made the initial step and went through with it? And did it go right away, or did you guys kind of like take it slowly?
It was me, the one that wanted to work things out. What else? Yeah, it was me. And at first, he was very unsure. So, which is why I'm saying that I thought it was impossible, to get back together. Because he was just like, at first it was me, the one that didn't want to continue the relationship. And then at the very end, I wanted to. And then he said, you know what, I'm done. But I think that we both wanted it,
He just couldn't trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he didn't trust my feelings. He didn't trust, that I really wanted it. So.
And obviously it hurt him. So
he was very hurt, I feel. Yeah. We were, I think we were engaged, right?
Yep.
And then we broke it off. Yeah.
And what was it? What was one of the things? Because I mean, the trust issue was like the one thing you had to overcome. How did you overcome it? Was it therapy, or was it, the couples therapy? What was one of the things that you like that helped you be like, okay, this is how I can start building that trust and that friendship with.
Was there
her?
like an exercise you had to practice?
It's more couples therapy.
Couples therapy and church. God helped us a lot overcome all of the issues that we had, because I don't think, like, if it weren't for, because we are very, I always talk to God, and I said, help us, because I don't want to be like, I want to break the cycle. I want my kids to grow up in a family. I want to give my kids the opportunity of growing up with mom and dad. I didn't want to struggle. My kids having to see him every other weekend. My kids would suffer. I would suffer. My kids would suffer. They wouldn't see their dad as much. and then I had to work. I had to like deal with like a babysitter and like having to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and having to go like drop off my kids to the babysitter. And then, when you have a couple, like there's two people to figure things out, there's an extra person that you can count on. If something doesn't work out with the kids, then you ask the other person, what should we do? Like you ask your husband, your wife, like, what should we do? Like there is always a solution. But I felt like in my case, I found myself like doing these things by myself. Yeah.
You were like a single mother.
Yeah. I was like,
you were
I was
co-parenting.
yeah, we were co-parenting, and the things that like how we were set up, like he would see the kids every other weekend, right, Guillermo? And then I would have the kids like 5 days a week. So it was on me to care for the kids when they were with me. And it was just really hard. It was very draining, honestly. Like I have so much respect for single mothers doing it alone, because it's a lot of work.
And it's kind of like, like your mom, my mom, in a sense, were single mothers to a certain extent, in their time in their life, at one point. So yeah, it's hard. Like I saw it from my mom's perspective, and I'm sure you saw it from your mom and, cousins, stuff like that. So yeah, it's hard, and it's not something that like it's easy. Oh, I'm just move on. There has to be a certain like risk and, like a certain downfall to that, So fast forward couple months, years, when did you guys be like, okay, like I think we're good now? I think, we went through it. I think, when did it all start clicking together?
When did it start, Guillermo? Like after we.
That's when Jaylene happened.
That's when Jaylene happened. Like we said, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then you guys got married too.
We got married. Yeah, before Jaylene was born. I was pregnant with Jaylene. We always call Jaylene like the reconciliation. Like she put us back together because she happened right after we got back together. Like, let's have another baby. He's like, okay, let's have another one.
So it's kind of like a reconnection there.
Yeah, everything. It was like I was meeting him all over again. Like we started off fresh. It was hard at first because they say like when you split up and then you start seeing other people and then coming back together again and trying to forget whatever happened in the past is like almost impossible. But for us, we feel like we made it happen. I mean, and it's not always possible for everyone, because there's different situations. But for us, I feel like we were able to overcome all those obstacles, and all that experience made us very strong. We feel like we're better parents, better, we're not perfect, but I feel like that made us so much more stronger. Like our foundation made us like very strong because of all of that. I feel. What do you think, Guillermo?
I feel the same way too.
Yeah, and then now I just can't imagine my life without him because I know what it feels like. So I was like, I don't think I could ever live without you. I always want to be with you. I want to grow old with you, right? Yeah. And then we just make plans for the future, like when we're like 60 years old, 70 years old, or kids being grown up, and then we can travel and just still be, together, hopefully.
Yeah, and and it's like I said, like on my side, I only see like the outside, and that's everybody. Like you see a couple, you see the image, right?
Yes.
You see not to say a front, but you see like the front of everything.
Yes.
So kind of going back to that, and us making the podcast, it's like, okay, well, I kind of want to bring you guys. Because like we socialize from time to time, and the times that we go over, like it's just like a good vibe. It's always good to go over you guys' house or wherever you guys are doing whatever event. It feels good. Like that's one of the things that I've stayed away from family, unconsciously because I'm always real busy with work. My job is not like Monday through Friday is kind of like everywhere. So it's always hard for me to like socialize with family. But for some reason, like with you guys, if
we like to make the time for you guys.
Yes. Oh,
just
thank you. We appreciate it.
Because it's like I see you guys and kind of like you guys kind of complement each other. Like you're quieter, you're kind of a little more talkative.
Yes.
Not to say louder, but
I'm a little loud.
But you know, and it's kind of you guys feed on each other, you know, and it's just something nice. So it's like, you know, when we talk about long, lengthy relationships, like, you know, you guys been together longer, you know, and it's like, you know, like kind of want to pick your brains, like how do you guys make it, you know, obviously you guys had your thing, but you overcame it. That's a big step, you know. I think that's something that not a lot of people get out of, you know, and it's amazing seeing.
Like, that's the thing is, like, I don't think there is a perfect formula. It's like, how do you do it? Like, what exactly did you do? There's no perfect formula.
No.
You just do whatever works for you.
Yes.
You know, whatever works for you. And like you said, you have to want it, because
Yes.
otherwise it's not going to work.
I think that's the main thing, just being
Takes two persons.
Like, yeah, wanting
Yeah.
to work it out.
It has to be a mutual feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, after Jaylene,
Jaylene. Yes.
sorry, Josie, Jaylene.
I know they're all Jace.
I know. So after the whole thing happened, you know, you guys start feeling like, you know, everything's back to normal. To guys now, you know, everything seems to be like shaped up perfectly. How often do you guys reminisce or like think about the past? I mean, obviously today, but you know, besides that, like, do you guys like talk it out? How much do you guys talk about that specific subject?
Like for me, I don't like talking about it.
He doesn't like talking about it. I bring it up every once in a while, but it's not to fight or start an argument. It's just more like, gosh, why do I bring it up? It's just
When you're
Just-
mad,
no, not exactly. But the thing is that, like, I'm curious because up to this day, I could barely get out like a few sentences from him. You know, it's just being like, Guillermo's an amazing guy, but sometimes like communication is just like we struggle a little bit, you know, because it's like we're a couple, but communication is just challenging for us, and I think it has to do with him being very reserved. But we make it work, you know. So I have to kind of like como picarlo o tratarlo de como que hable, you know, because he's like this all the time. So he's not only like this with you guys or in front of you, like in front of he's like that with me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, Guillermo? Así es él.
So he's on the shyer side. He's quieter, and
he's-
you want to express. You want to
Yes,
talk.
I'm always
she's the wild one.
yeah, I'm like, I always want to communicate. I want to bring stuff up. I want to learn and like I want to know what he's thinking. I want to talk about things all the time, and it's just really hard.
I think that's a little bit of how Mario was.
Yeah?
Maybe. Like, Mario was more like keeping his feelings and thoughts to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not like that. Like, I'm not like super loud or anything, but like I like to talk. And I feel like I kind of understand why you like how you say like I can't imagine my life without him. It's like sometimes you just want to bring up certain things, kind of like to reassure the relationship and
Yes.
just kind of be like, you know, I can't imagine my life without you. Like I just can't. Like there's no way.
Sometimes you
know?
need reassurance, right?
Yeah.
Like we need that. Like okay, that we're doing good. Like
Yeah,
We're
like
good.
can you tell me that back? Like,
yeah, can you say it?
So going back, you have Josie, firstborn.
Yes.
Then you have Jeremy.
Yes.
What's the difference between the firstborn and secondborn? And then, of course, after that question, what's the difference between the third one? Was
Just
there
trying to
any-
prepare.
Good
for
question.
number
Good
3.
questions.
Yeah.
Oh, you're trying. Okay. Well, Jocelyn was, you know, a learning experience, and we weren't, you know, that stable and like financially. I would say that was like a very big struggle for us starting out. And then for the second one with Jeremy, we were a little bit more, you know, we're okay. Still not as financially stable, but we think that we could manage. And then for Jaylene, I feel like, gosh, Jaylene was for our third one. We weren't sure yet if it was going to work out. I wanted it to work out, and that's why I decided to, you know, have his baby for the third time. I knew it in my heart that I wanted to do this, which is why I decided to go for the other one. And so he did too. And I think that we, you know, we just went from there.
Did you find parenting was harder as, you know, as the second and third one, or was it easier? Because now, of course, you have a 14-year-old and then an 11-year-old. Do you guys find it harder or about the same?
It was easier than the third one. No?
Yeah, the third one, everything's more relaxed, I feel. You know? So right now we're having
There's
a few.
nothing to worry about, Mario.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, I
You're
think.
sweating.
No, I think it was easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jaylene's a little bit more like, she's very independent, so it wasn't as like the other two.
And she talks more.
And she talks so much more. She's very outgoing. She likes to talk. So if she doesn't know someone, she'll go and introduce herself. Hey, I'm Jaylene.
She
Oh,
got
that's
it from
nice.
mom.
Yeah, so she's very outgoing.
He's
I
like,
think
she
she's
got it from her mom.
yeah. I think she's more like me, you know. And Jeremy's like the shy. Like no, Jeremy's not that shy, is he?
Sometimes.
Sometimes in situations, but I don't think Jocelyn's very outgoing. But she's now a teenager, and I feel like we're struggling a little bit in that part because they say having a teenager is hard, and it is. So be ready.
3 more years. 4
Yeah,
years.
3 more years.
Yeah. Because, you know, and
I
that's,
don't know. Aiden is like super attached to him.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like
you guys are like best friends.
very.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So they have their own room.
Yes.
They don't sleep in it. You know,
Yeah.
so I have to go to their bed, not to their bed, to their
their
room.
room every
I stay
night.
there and, you know, I talk to them till they fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I go to my room in the middle of the night. They go to our room, you know, and
He
it's,
will grab a blanket and a pillow and just lay himself on the floor just to be in the room with us.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's how serious it is for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when he's like really struggling, he wants me to take off his socks and rub his feet.
Oh.
Or he wants me to just like, you know, to be there even if I'm not rubbing his feet. And that's how he'll go to sleep. But yeah, he doesn't want to go, you know, to his own room.
Yes.
And we bought him a TV. We bought him guinea pigs. We bought him a Switch so he can play games. And he has a whole setup and he just doesn't want to, you know.
Oh.
And so I think it's hard because, you know, it's going to be hard with us in a sense, kind of like, you know, like, okay, we need our space.
Yes.
But then when we do have it, I think it's going to be hard on me.
I mean,
I'd be
I
like-
think that was the idea when we moved in here, like we got our house. It was like, okay, we're gonna have our own room. You guys are gonna have your own room. We're gonna put your bunk bed in there. Immediately, Aiden was like, I don't like this house.
Yeah.
Like, I hate this house.
Yeah.
Why? Because when we were living in our 1-bedroom apartment, it was our
Oh.
bed and their bed
And
right
their-
next to. Mario has said this before. He would climb out of bed anyway and end up in our bed, like even though we were in the same room.
Yes.
But it's just, you know, he just hated the fact that his bed was not right there with us. So, mostly with him. I
Yeah,
guess.
and he's very attached. Yeah.
Pero si es un poco,
He's grumpy.
yeah.
He's grumpy.
That's
I
enough
wonder
one.
who he gets it from. Who does he get it from? Gracias.
All the bad qualities. Well, yeah, I think he's gonna be weird. Like like the teenage years.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like I don't know if I can say he's gonna be good. He's gonna be calm, or he's gonna be like grumpy, or
Like
you know.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
right. That's
Yeah.
the right word.
Yeah.
Not weird.
It's like,
Unpredictable.
I feel like I want to say, like, no, I think we're going to know who he is. But
Yes.
then you just never know. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
influences or whatever happens, and you just never know. So.
It takes, so, you know, for some kids, you can see their personality right away. For some other kids, like their personality develops within time, I feel.
Yeah.
I know Jocelyn was very outgoing. Now she's becoming shy. So you never know. Like their teenage years are always kind of like all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things he does, yes, he's grumpy, but when he gets mad at me or walks away from me, he comes back later and apologizes to me. Like, I'm sorry I was mad at you earlier.
Oh.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they seem pretty good kids.
Yeah.
So
They're great.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, likewise, you know, I do feel like because that's where I was going with, like, because you guys mentioned, like, you know, with Yossi, it was a little harder, and you guys struggled because you were new parents. Like when we've seen her, like, you know, when we've gone to your house, it's like I see Yossi and like, oh, she's hella big and she's like very polite, and then she's
Like she's very mature for her
Yeah.
age too.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
yeah, and
She's
then she has she graduated right from
middle school.
with honors.
Yes.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying is like it's kind of not shocking, but it is surprising that you know you guys struggled with her because you guys seem like to be doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, like she's a very good student. She's very mature. But the teenage years are always very hard because it's just like they're growing up, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so many changes in their body.
They're trying to figure out who they are.
Yes. So I think that's the main
I
thing.
mean, we all went through it.
Yes, and I like we understand, right? We try to understand and try to be the best we can, but sometimes
It's
just-
hard.
It's really hard. But she's a very good girl. She's never. I'm not bragging, but she's never had a B. She's always had straight A's.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like nunca me ha dado ninguna una B, ¿no?
No
Puras A's.
No complaints.
No complaints. Yeah.
Good.
And Jeremy, he's a very like happy, energetic boy. And then he's had his struggles in school, but I think he's doing good too, right? And then
I mean,
Jalen.
this year was just.
This year was very challenging for sure
Yeah.
for everyone.
I think we with the kids and the
Yeah.
grades were like also like try your best, try to do the best you can, and then
I feel like
this-
we're super lenient though.
Yeah.
It's just like I try not to like stress them out about it.
Yes.
But I do want to make sure that they're, doing what they need to do. But especially like this year, it went to the trash. Like I don't take it
gosh.
serious.
Yes. This year is like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine because we went. I think everyone went through it for
Yeah.
like some way or another, and then especially for the kids, they're so used to like being in school with their friends, and then all of a sudden they're just home doing, like not
Yeah.
socializing. They need that.
Yeah, I know. Academically, Aiden has always been a little bit, has always kind of struggled.
Yes.
With reading. He's really good at math. Like he can do it off the top of his head. He makes fun of me when I mess up. But Adi, she was in a really good place, like with her reading and everything. And then this whole thing happened, and she's right back to zero. Like not zero,
Yeah.
but she's right
Yeah.
back down. So.
So in a to a certain extent, we kind of just gave up on this year and be like, okay, next year you guys got to try your best. It's just
Yes.
that's all we can really do, because I get mad like when he does. The thing with Aiden is like a veces he kind of gets like a little lazy and he doesn't
He's
want to read.
lazy.
So I'm like, and I get mad like, bro, like it's not that hard, just read it.
Is it a boy thing? I think so.
Maybe.
Because Jeremy's the same way.
Yeah. It's like
And they get distracted. Well, Jeremy gets really distracted. So distracted.
Yeah.
Me imagino que también Aiden.
yeah, the Aiden, en la casa with Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Yeah, it's even worse.
You'd
Yeah.
rather be with the guinea pigs,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's crazy. Let's give him a break. This year, it's like never happened. So
Yeah.
let's start
Yeah.
fresh next year.
Yeah.
Erase it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that from this conversation is kind of shocking, was like what you guys went through, but it makes me like really happy, and I'm just saying like because I honestly generally feel like you guys are doing great. You guys
Thank
are a
you.
happy couple, and for you guys go through an obstacle like that, and then where you guys at now, it's that's something that like that should be like in
It's
a sense,
admirable.
admirable.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you.
it's both parts.
Es como un milagro, yo siento. O sea, we both wanted it, but I think that, I don't know. What do you think, Guillermo? What do you think happened? Like, how were we able to do this? Because sometimes I ask myself, like, how is it possible?
Seeing our kids.
Yeah, our kids. Our kids and our love for each other. I know that I was there. It was just confused. It was just
We were just hurt.
we were hurt. We were confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to go with that, sorry, I got tongue twisted. To go through that, and then going to where you guys are at now.
I mean, you have your own business now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, mhm.
I mean, it's taken a few years, more than a few, but I feel like, I mean,
You're doing great, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without him.
That's what I was gonna go with.
Yeah, I give him the credit for all of my, for everything, because he's always been there to support me. He's always believed in me. When I told him that I wanted to pursue this photography thing, he never once said, "You're crazy," or like, "What?" He always said, "Yeah, go for it."
Yeah. Yeah, and I was gonna say that, but she always interrupts me, and she got ahead of me. And I just like, and that's kind of what I was going to, because it kind of sets like scenarios and little like clips in your life. You guys, you go into your business. Like, how did that start? Like, because I mean, obviously you need support, and he obviously gave it to you.
Yes.
How did you think like, oh, let's do photography, and then how did you go from like, okay, like, how am I gonna tell him like I want to pursue this? Was it easy on you, or was it something like it was hard to express?
I think that he kind of knew that I was already like always liked taking pictures. Ever since we met, I've always had my little like point and shoot camera, right, Guillermo? I've always liked it, but it wasn't until our third baby was born, like months after, that I really wanted to do this. Like I said, I really want to feel productive. I want to do something for myself. I want to be able to help him. I want to do something. I just wanted to be productive, do something with myself other than being a mom. Like, don't get me wrong, being a mom is nice. Being with the kids, being able to stay at home and be with the kids is nice. But I feel like I needed to grow as a woman, not only as a mother, but as a woman. I wanted to be, to do something for myself. So I told him that I wanted to do this photography thing, and he supported me all the way. And
Awesome.
And I think for me, I wanted to support her too, because I was going to school too, and she supported me.
She supported you while you were in school.
Yeah, he took college classes, and he was able to go to Starbucks and study there. He took many courses, and I was there to support him. I would take care of like the kids. He would work. He would come from work, and then he would go and like study. So I was there throughout, taking care, making sure the kids ate and all of that. And then he would just do his thing, what he needed to do.
You allowed him his space so that he could pursue what he needed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a mutual thing, like like you support me and I'm gonna support you.
Yeah, we both want we want each other to grow. Like, it's not always me or him. Like, we want that mutual, how do you call that? Growth.
Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah, mutual growth, yes. Like, I water you, you water me. Like, we both water each other and help each other grow. Because that's what a couple is about, like helping each other grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to see your partner be better and do better, and it's kind of like, we mentioned this before, and I don't know if it was our podcast or a different podcast that we were on. One of the things that we mentioned was there was a time where, my background, I'm an immigrant, so I didn't have some of the opportunities. So she was born here. She had a little more opportunities when it came to getting a better job, and there was times where she was making pretty good amount of money. And I was like, okay, well, I'm the man. Why should I be making less? I never thought about it like that. It was more like, she's doing her thing and I'm actually pushing her to do more. Be more because it was like, I was proud of her, and I feel like, not to generalize or point out specific couples, but sometimes things like that can happen. You're like, oh, I'm the man. She shouldn't be making more than I am.
Yeah.
There's greed and sense and then envy. And then be like, okay, well, I'm not going to help you get above because you're going to be above me,
Yes.
So it plays a role in the sense, and wanting to see the other person be, helping grow and be more than what they are, and supporting them, it also helps build a relationship, because I never saw it like her, oh, you're making more than I am. I'm less of a man, No, I never thought about it like that. And she never took it oh, I'm making more than you. Why should I be making more than you? You got to step up your game. It was never envious or
or felt high,
yeah, oh, I don't need to
I
be.
never made you feel less of a person.
Yes.
Or of my husband.
Yeah.
As you were making less.
Yeah, and that helped us build a relationship, a stronger relationship, and same thing with you guys. You supported each other, and you guys lifted each other up.
Yeah.
And
I mean, now that you do make a little bit better money, I just take it all.
yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She always has.
She wants it back.
Yeah. But yeah, so and that's kind of what I was going is you were supporting her in her business. You supported him
Yes.
in his career, and then fast forward, you guys, like you guys mentioned, like Yossi, you guys were kind of struggling financially, and now you guys are where guys are at now. You own a home.
Yes.
That's a big thing for like immigrants, parents,
Yes.
just general. Like that's the American dream to own a home. And you guys are killing it. Honestly,
Thank you.
I know Guillermo and us were kind of talking about some of the repairs, and he was kind of saying like, oh, we spend this much, like, God damn, like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's for you guys. That's your paradise.
Your
That's your home.
house.
Yes.
So same thing, like kind of what we're trying to do here. Like little by little, we're going to start fixing things.
Yes.
At the end of the day, this is going to be our forever home, pass it on to the kids. Yeah. Something like that. But it's just, to me, it's surprising, not surprising, but
It's just a nice thing
Yeah.
to see that, like, where you started and, like, just seeing you, like, I'm sure it feels great, like, to see your own growth and just to, like, see your children, like, in their home and just everything that you guys have built together. I'm sure that
Yes.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it feels good from where we first started.
It makes
to
you
we're
so
now
much
here.
more grateful for
Yes,
things, right?
because we don't come from a family that que nos dejó una casa or
yeah, un terreno.
No, we
Yeah.
don't we don't nothing. No heredamos nada, ¿verdad?
None
Like
of
it's
our
not
family.
like our family. We're grateful for our family and everything, but we wanted to be something different.
Yeah.
Like, just be good, right?
Feel proud
Feel
of
proud.
what you've accomplished.
And it's honestly like at the end of the day, you guys don't have to think anybody else but yourself, because you guys did the job, you guys did the work, and you got through it, and you guys are where you're at now.
Yeah, we started from scratch. Like I know you guys did too, because I know we're so proud of you because of how far that you've come to. Like you guys are this happy. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone has their problems,
Yeah.
but you guys are like such a nice couple, and you have 2 beautiful kids with now 1 on the way. So we're very proud of you. And then I know that Graciela is expecting her 3rd baby.
Yes.
And so congratulations.
Thank you.
And then just like it's blessing after blessing, from getting your home to now having your 3rd child.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that you guys are very grateful and proud as
Yeah,
well.
we've talked about this before too. It's just, it makes us just remembering. We kind of like to remember like the past and talk about it, because it's
Yes.
like it puts us, it gives us that nostalgia, and we start thinking about like how far we've come. Like we've said it before. Like we used to live off a WIC. Just like
Yes.
we had barely any money for food. I remember him not being able to eat sometimes. It's
Yeah,
hard. It's
it's a
hard, and
struggle.
just to feel like we've accomplished something, and like watching our kids grow, and
Yeah.
just seeing how happy they are, and just watching our growth is
Yes.
is nice.
It's just like all the hard work and everything that you guys went through. It's all for a reason, It makes us bigger persons to appreciate all of the hardships that we went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know with me in particular, like I've always had like a really good relationship with you,
Yes.
and then also a good relationship with Dylan. And kind of mentioning like what you said earlier, and earlier during the podcast, is like we're primos hermanos, right? So the
Yes.
definition of that, for people that might not know, is like your mom got with your dad, and then it happens to be that your dad is my mom's brother, and then my dad is your mom's brother. So it's kind of like a little triangle, right?
Yes.
But for some reason, like growing up, we never really thought about it. Then when you get older, like, God damn,
How
like,
did that happen?
how is that even legal, right? But to a certain extent, it's like I feel like, I don't know if it's just psychological.
Like you guys carry the same blood.
Literally the same blood.
Like 2 ways.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like I was saying, I don't know if it's psychological, but I've always felt like with you and Dylan, I've always like had a very tight relationship.
Yes.
This is why it's like I feel legitimately happy that you guys are doing good, because of the love that I got for you guys and even
Thank
your
you.
mom. And it just makes me happy. I think deep down inside, I like going over where you guys, when you guys have your events and whenever we
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
I like going because I like seeing you guys happy.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I know, I'm pretty sure, like, I didn't know too much detail, like, on your struggles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys had struggles, and I know that you had to overcome something one way or another. I like the fact that you guys overcame that. And now that you guys came to detail, I'm even happier that you guys overcame that. You guys are where we're
Thank
at
you.
now.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
Yeah, we're gosh, it's a learning experience every day with him and with me too. Because my attitude is just a little bit more like, how do you say it? ¿Cómo lo pondrías? Like my attitude is just more like fiery, I guess.
From 0 to 100.
I could go from 0 to 100 in like 1 minute, right?
1 second.
One
In 1 second.
Like, you took me too nice.
He's like, no, that's too long. 1 second.
Oh my god! And he's more chill. Like I think we complement each other porque en veces él like no reacciona rápido and I'm like, dude, like, and then he's like calm down.
Yeah.
So we help each other.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So, do you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to?
yeah. This third baby that you guys are expecting, like I saw that you guys had like little diapers there and everything.
Yeah.
You guys are getting ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far along are you?
I'm
Graciela?
5 months.
Do you guys know what you're having?
No,
No.
we're
Not
gonna
yet?
just wait until.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Yeah. Yeah. I want to announce that
Want a
later.
surprise.
Yeah. I want to surprise her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't. Do you want to share? Because we made an episode in particular about the baby.
Uh huh.
So with this with the baby that we're currently having,
Yes.
we already having like our little things where like it's kind of like now she's stressing out a little bit.
We're experiencing new things.
Yeah, new
Yeah.
things.
Like
'Cause
new
it's-
stuff.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually, I don't know. You want to share it?
You're already starting.
No, it's okay.
No,
go
so
ahead.
we had an ultrasound a couple of weeks ago, and then like we kind of felt it like something was like off. So one of the things that they mentioned, like, oh, we're trying to like get the spine of the baby, just trying to like get extra pictures. And then the technician kind of left the room like, okay, I'm gonna go get the doctor. She's gonna do her thing. She's gonna take a couple of pictures, and then she came and like I kind of looked at her and I had a feeling
He
like
was trying to be like his same old positive self.
Yes.
And I was
trying
like,
to be
Mario,
positive.
there's something wrong.
Like, nah, they did the same thing with Aiden. Like, they had to step out and get the doctor, and like, but I kind of felt like something was, like, okay, something's wrong, or so they're not trying to tell us. So when the doctor came, they did their thing, and then she kind of expressed to us, like, she's like, hey, Mario, Graciela, like, so
They
we're
saw
seeing-
something.
in the-
They saw that the baby, I don't know if you've heard of this condition, but it has clubfoot.
Oh.
So-
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So yeah, so I think the main thing, like, they were like really trying to like ensure that it was just clubfoot and it wasn't like a spinal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the heart was fine, the brain, the head, all the organs were fine. The spine was fine. It was just that the baby had a clubfoot. So with this whole set, like new experience, like, we don't know what clubfoot is. We know what the side effects. We don't know what the long term is. So like we started like kind of, not me so much because I was trying to be calm
Yes.
for her because she's like the most like she gets stressed out.
Yeah.
So I was trying to stay calm for her, but it was just something new, something like you never experienced. Like we didn't go with Aiden and Addie. So one of the like my main concerns, like, okay, well, I want the baby to have like a normal life and run
Yes.
around, and how's this gonna happen with clubfoot? But we got information on that, and it was pretty like it's a fixable procedure where you just
Okay.
wear a cast, and it's kind of like braces.
Yes.
Kind of you fix the feet to the position that you need to, and after that they wear a brace for a certain amount of time, and then after that it's like nothing happens.
For like 4 years. So
Yeah.
it's a 4 to 5 year process that I've read.
Okay.
So it's like they start positioning the feet out to a normal position, and then they have to wear some bars and stuff, like a bar and boots, to
okay.
keep it in place.
Yeah, but it's something that can be fixed, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's correctable.
okay.
It just takes treatment. So
Yes.
it's like at first it's just like the first thing in my mind is like, what did I do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how did I cause this?
Yes.
And I'm just like right after, I'm just Googling everything, looking up everything. I even found a podcast that I listened to just to like get more information. And we actually did have we had a video call with a specialist.
Yes.
And who was going to be the baby's doctor that's going to, help us correct this. And she was great. I really liked her. He was very happy after the call.
I was happy with her.
Yeah, so it's just something different, something new that we're going to experience. And, one of the things that my mom said is just, she's like, I feel like this is going to make you guys stronger. Like, just going through something like this.
As parents, is like one of the many challenges, right? But you guys can get through this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's just, it was more like a little scary in a sense, like, what does this mean? But, after like talking to the doctor, that's why I was kind of happy that, I was happy when we left the call, because she seemed like, like she seemed very positive. She knew what she was saying. And she answered all the questions that I need to, like, like what is the possibility that, the baby is going to grow up and have issues down the road. And she said, like, well, I had somebody that had clubfoot when they were younger. They're 77 years old experiencing arthritis. But like around that age, who doesn't have arthritis?
Right.
It's like, it's very common. So to me, I felt like, okay, then this is not like, something that to be concerned about. Because, my concern was like, not just the aesthetic part, not even like the bullying. It's more like health-wise, like how's the baby going to be down the road? Like, is the baby going to have pain in the leg? Or kid, or, when they're older, what does it mean for them, like health-wise? So that was my main concern, and that was kind of like, I was freaking out, but I wasn't showing her that I was freaking out. And cuando la doctora nos dijo todo eso, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's going to be all right.
Yes.
It's just cosmetic, we can fix it. But yeah, I mean, that's our new experience with that. And I just think, like, I told her, like, we're going to be okay. Like, it's just going to be fine. And we're going to get through it. It's nothing. At the end of the day, I told her, like, in 4 months, we're going to have him or her in the backseat with the kids, and it's I can't wait anymore.
Yes. Oh, we can't wait to meet the new addition.
I know. So yeah,
I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, I know. So I know, kind of like waiting for the gender till the birth.
Yes.
But we'll let you guys know.
It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. How is it going with, like, being in your new home? Because I know that you guys just got this home. What was it, like? How many?
A year and a half. Yeah.
And that's a big accomplishment just for any couple, to be able to own your first home. Must be amazing.
It is.
It is. I think things happen for a reason, and it happened at the right time.
Yes.
I was telling Guillermo earlier, like, when we came see the house, it was like an older lady. She was older. She was like, senior citizen, and her niece was helping her sell the house because they were trying to take her, to Sacramento where they were living. So when they were selling the house, they didn't stage it at all. They had it the way that she was living, because at the end of the day, she's old. She didn't want to do any of the movements. Right. So you come into the house, it's kind of old looking, old furniture, the smell, like older smell, like, people. So it wasn't like very appealing to a lot of people. So in a sense, that kind of helped us to kind of like jump on the wagon, on the boat and get it, because we had like an official offer, and we just waited for them to sign, and then we moved in. Because in the time we did, we were looking at a different house, and this house was modern. It was nice looking. It was next.
It was smaller though.
It was smaller.
I think the thing that attracted us to that house was because it was staged. It was remodeled. It didn't even have a garage. Like, I'm like, where were we gonna keep stuff? Like, I was just like, it wouldn't have worked out. I'm so glad that it didn't work out.
Because we thought about, like, it looked beautiful, so we want this one. So we made an offer. We got outbid, but then kind of like thinking about it afterwards, like, well, the master bedroom was like a room and a bathroom. Like, you couldn't fit a drawer, a dresser drawer. You couldn't fit like a TV. Let alone,
it was very small.
It was super small.
Like more for the looks, maybe.
Yeah.
This is a very nice home. Like the size and everything. It's just has everything that you guys need.
Yeah, it works for us. I'm really glad that we went the route that we did. I mean, it was our second option, but at the end of the day, it worked out for the best. I love the area. We have great neighbors. Like, nothing problematic. It's really close to the freeway. We get to
Yes.
get to work in like 10 minutes.
You're in the middle of everything.
Yeah,
I
you know,
mean,
we have
yeah.
grocery store down the
Yes.
street, like everything, clothing stores, everything.
Very
like,
convenient.
yeah, it's
Very
super
convenient location.
Yeah,
Our
and then the
children
kids
go to school like
a
2
block
blocks
away.
away.
Oh, 2
Oh my
blocks away.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
amazing.
Yeah. So, it was kind of, we felt like it was meant to be. The timing was perfect. To a certain extent, I think when we were trying to get the house, like one of the things that kind of held us back was the owner. Like they weren't like signing off on the paper. We signed off. We closed everything off. We were just waiting for them. And the lady had already moved to Sacramento. So we had to ship the papers over there. She had to sign it and then close everything off. So we had a time frame like, okay, we're going to close off on this day. It's done. And then it kind of got pushed back a couple of days. So we were
had
living.
to move out of our apartment.
Yeah. So
Put
we had to
everything
move
in storage. We
Oh
stayed
my
with my
goodness.
mom for like, it was like 2 days.
2 days.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It wasn't bad. But
Yeah.
then during that time, like she's already stressing out.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, let's just pay the rent. Like, stay in our apartment and just say we don't want to do it. Like, we signed off already. You can't do that. We're going to lose money. And then, like, kind of like going and kind of like moving all our stuff to storage.
Yeah.
And then going to her mom's house and sleeping
it
in.
was there.
It's kind of like, it was very uncomfortable. It was very stressful because, like, okay, it could be like it lingers off for another week.
month.
It could be another month until they had to sign off. And it was just 2 days, but it was stressful. I think that was like apurándonos, And then after that, it was just easy. We got the keys and I started cleaning. I did a lot of stuff before the kids came over. And after that, it was just,
We slept in our house the first day we got the keys.
It feels
Yeah.
amazing, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Oh,
yeah, we
still
brought
remember.
the bed and we put it in the living room. We just sat down and we fell asleep.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're just going to come back over here and sleep. And then I think the timing was perfect because I was telling Guillermo, like a year, which is like now, like the houses are high, are super crazy high. Like I was telling him, we were looking into Vallejo. We were looking into Pittsburgh, Bay Point. And it was like, okay, we can get around the same price that we got this one. We can get a pretty decent, bigger size house.
Yes.
But then kids went to school here. Aiden was playing soccer. His team was over here. So we had everything around here. So like, okay, let's just stay here. And then year and a half, COVID. Even with COVID, like houses are skyrocketing up. Like,
Super expensive.
I'm like, we bought the house the time we had to. I mean, it was a little expensive, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. It's
Everything
everything
happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason, and I'm so glad that you guys did made the move, huh?
Yeah.
Because right now the homes are it's really hard out there. Like the homes are just everyone's outbidding, and
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen
Yes.
like posts and stuff on Facebook where houses sell for like over $1 million of their offer
It's
price
crazy.
or something like that. It's like,
crazy. The demand right now, it's a seller's market for sure,
Oh, yeah.
not a buyer's.
No, yeah. Yeah. Like people that bought their homes back in the 90s or the 80s, they're making a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
just
for sure.
like 20K cows when they first bought it. Now it's.
I mean, when we went to go see the house that the first one we bid it on, the lady, one of the neighbors, she came and like I met her. She said she got her house for $10K.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
and they're
Yeah.
selling over here for 500,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Here in Richmond, everything's like so much more. I know that in Vallejo, they're like, they're up there, but not as much as here.
Yeah.
Out here,
Yeah. It's
this
just
area.
close to everything.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Y también when we made the offer with the lady, like I remember her niece was here, like showing us the house. It's like she's like, oh yeah, we just want to get her to Sacramento, so we're like literally taking like the first offer. So when I spoke to it was a friend that helped us with the real estate part, and I told her, hey, like, she said that they're just trying to take the first offer, so don't overbid, just give them what they're asking for, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it. And he did, and they say yeah right away.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, because with the other house, they were asking for a certain amount, and my friend overbid a little bit, or the offer was a little higher, so we can try to get it. And I'm like, don't do this with this house. Just do for
Yes,
450.
and
what they're asking.
that's smart.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You don't want,
And luckily for us,
They
the
just
lady.
wanted to sell it as is. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't want
Yeah.
to do anything to it. And that was fine with us because, in a way, like, it gives us the opportunity to kind of, like, create our own whatever we want. When we change things up,
Yes.
it's going to be our way,
Yeah. Well, with the like, I know that owning a home, the projects never end. Right, Guillermo?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like a never-ending story,
Yeah.
but it's fun because you're creating something for you, for yourself, for your kids. You know, that's gonna be your home where your kids are gonna grow up and you know, possibly maybe grow their families and también.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's
Mari's handy.
and Maria's
Yeah.
very handy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of posts on Facebook. You know, fixing up his backyard and doing things here and there.
Yeah, I tried.
Yes.
I mean, like, schedule sucks sometimes, so I don't have time for that. But, like, you know, with my dad, construction, I learned a lot,
Yes.
you know, and, like, lo único que me falta is the confidence because I, like, kind of want to start knocking sheetrock and then redo it. I know I can do it, but then, like, I don't have the confidence to do it. So I'm like, maybe I'll wait a little bit longer, you know? Like, the fence, I know I can do the fence, but then, like, I don't trust myself that I can do it right away.
Solid fence.
Or a solid fence. I'm like, let me wait.
Yes.
But yeah, I like being handy. You know,
And then my tío can help you, no?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I was telling him.
you can call him sometimes and, hey, Dad, how do I do this? Or what do you recommend?
Yeah, and I actually did that a few times with the house. You know, I wasn't too sure, and he helped me out. You know, I think that he's a good voice to help me with.
Yes.
For sure.
Good resource.
Good resource. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys have any more questions?
No questions?
All right. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming. I know you guys from Vallejo here. You know, it's not that much, but it can be, you know, strainful, you know, back and forth. But definitely thank you for coming in. Cause like I mentioned to you guys earlier, like, you know, I have a good relationship with you. And then of course, Guillermo, like from the beginning, like I had a good relationship with him. So it's like, I wanted you guys to come on, you know, kind of express how I feel about you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know, and just be like, you know, and kind of get the full, like, you know, background on how you guys, you know, managed, because so far everything's looking real good for you guys.
Yes. Thank you for having us. And we really appreciate you guys. And we're happy for you, for your new baby, for your home. It's just blessing after blessing. So we're really proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you too. Like, I feel like, you know, I have a lot of respect for the both of you, and I'm really happy that you guys, you know, agreed to come on and like share a little bit of your, you know, your relationship and just parenting and everything. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.